Hi, Chris here. Going to do some graphing for assignment 8, and we're going to basically doing a scatter plot, and then we're going to add a trend line. We're going to do a pie graph, and we're going to do a bar graph. Okay, that one over a little bit so we can see it. So in the first one, in the scatter plot, it says put the dots in there, and then we're going to add a trend line. Let's get rid of it for now, and we're going to do some calculations. I'll get rid of them for now. We'll do them in a minute. To graph, I'm just going to highlight the step 1 in graph, including the headings, and I can either go find up in my toolbar insert graph or chart, or I can click on here and say insert chart. In the chart, it defaults to a line graph, but I'm going to say no. I think on this one I'm going to do it a scatter chart and just puts the dots in there. And I think I'm also going to go to customize this a little bit, and under series I'm going to add in a trend line, which is basically a line of best fit. And I'm going to get fancy. I'm going to add the label of equation. So if you do grade 12 college math, you're going to have to do that with me. And it basically says, here's the line of the graph. The mark out of 10 is going to be 0.33 times whichever lesson we are, plus 5.63. So 5.63 is actually this dot right here where the line crosses the y-axis. And 0.33x means we go up a third, we go over 1. It's the slope of the line all the way through. Okay, so that's good enough for my graph. The total, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. We've done this a lot of times, equals sum. If we add all these numbers up, we could do the mean calculated. We could say equals, mean is a form of average, and it says if you add up all the numbers, which we had done already, 74.5, and we divide it by how many numbers there are, 10, we get that. Or the mean is actually a function in here already called average. Open bracket, and we highlight them all. Enter. Median says what's the middle number. If you rank them from lowest to highest, do not look at the middle in here, rank them from lowest to biggest, which is the middle number. So equals median. They use that oftentimes in report cards. Where's the middle score? And then the mode says which is the most one that happens the most. So equals mode, which number happens the most in here. Remember, there's a dynamic template, meaning if I start changing some of these numbers, if I added this one as a 5 and this one as a 5, notice that everything changes through here. The mode is now 5 because I got more 5s than anything. Let's not do those things. Okay, pie sold. So I'm going to do a pie graph, and let's get rid of this guy for a minute, or I'll leave him up there and then let's add to it. So I'm going to say, here we go, highlight the stuff I want, insert chart. It's pretty smart. It's going to guess that it wants to be a pie graph. Okay, then if you want to start going into customizing, see if you can play around to get these things so that cherry is not only just here, it shows up inside the graph. Okay, so you're going to find that in the customizing, but take your time. And as you look through them, you'll see things like under the pie chart, if you want the slice label as none, or if you want to have it as a percentage in there, you can start showing things up, or if you wanted it to be the value or the label, like the names or whatever, there's lots of different things you can do in there. Remember, you can always click on places, like if I click on here, it actually tries to find the title for me, and then you can go ahead and change it. Okay, so that's the basics on pie graphs, and then the last one's going to be that bar chart. So again, I'm going to highlight all the stuff I want to do, insert chart. It's not showing up exactly the way I had before, right? So I'm going to go and use row 2, which is this row here, as my headers. And watch what happens. It gets rid of that extra one where it says type, and then I'm still getting the 2003, 2004, and everything comes across there. It defaulted to column chart for me. It was guessing that's what I wanted to do, but feel free to go through and change things and click on things and find out what else is going on there.